Ever wonder what's really behind your confidence? Or, what's feeding that nagging self-doubt? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive into this super powerful, totally invisible force that shapes, well, pretty much everything about our lives. And that's self-esteem.
I mean, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? You can't touch it, but oh boy, you can feel it. Every single day. It's kind of like that little voice in the back of your head, the one that's always whispering, influencing how you see yourself and how you see the world around you.
And yeah, that invisible force we've been talking about, it's your self-esteem.
Okay, so let's break it down. What does self-esteem actually mean? It sounds kind of complex, but really, if you just look at the two words it's made of, it gets a whole lot simpler.
So first up, we've got esteem. All this means is the value or importance you place on something. Like when you really admire someone, maybe a teacher or a friend, you'd say you hold them in high esteem. It's all about respect and admiration.
And then there's self. That one's pretty obvious. It's you. So you put them together and what do you get? Self-esteem is literally how much you value yourself, how much you like and appreciate who you are. And here's the crucial part. It's regardless of the circumstances. It's not about your latest win or your biggest mistake. It's that core feeling of your own worth.
But here's the thing. Self-esteem isn't just this one single feeling. It's actually made up of a bunch of different pieces. You've got self-confidence in there, trusting your gut. There's that feeling of security, a solid sense of identity, of who you really are, a sense of belonging, and of course, that feeling of competence, believing you've got what it takes to handle whatever life throws at you.
Okay, so this brings up a really common mix-up. Does having high self-esteem just mean you're arrogant, prideful?
No way, not at all. Real self-esteem is all about knowing yourself. It's about being honest about what you're good at and, yeah, what you're not so good at. It's not about thinking you're perfect. It's just self-knowledge. Big difference from arrogance.
All right, so we've got the definition down, but what does this actually look like in day-to-day life? Let's dive into the difference between high and low self-esteem, because it's really like looking at two completely different mindsets.
And wow, the difference is huge. When you have healthy self-esteem, you feel confident. You believe you're equal to other people, not less than. You can actually express your needs, and, this is a big one, you can say no and set boundaries. On the flip side, with low self-esteem, you might struggle with confidence, maybe believe everyone else is better than you, and you might always put their needs first. You might focus on your weaknesses, dwell on past negatives, and find it really, really hard to accept a compliment.
This all makes you wonder, right? Where does this stuff even come from? What is it that shapes how we end up seeing ourselves?
Well, it's not just one thing, that's for sure. It's a whole mix of stuff. Things like your age, your health, or physical abilities can play a part. So can external things like your socioeconomic status. But you know what one of the biggest factors is? It's internal. It's your own thought patterns, those stories you tell yourself over and over again.
And here's some really good news. Your self-esteem isn't set in stone. It changes over time. Think about it. For a lot of us, it tends to be kind of low when we're kids, right? Then in our teens, it starts to creep up. And as we get into adulthood, it usually keeps growing and gets more stable as we figure things out and get more comfortable in our own skin.
So since it's not a fixed thing, that means we can actually work on it. We can improve it. So let's talk about how to build a stronger self, because there's definitely a path forward.
There's actually a pretty famous framework for this called the 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. Now, we don't have time to go through all of them today, but they're all about things like living consciously, being aware of what you're doing and why, and practicing self-acceptance. The main thing to remember is that there are real practical things you can do to build up your own sense of worth. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to chew on. After everything we've just talked about, how are you going to value yourself today?